Joining us now is Attorney Michael Yusinko, Senior Research Fellow at the Ateneo Policy Center. Good morning.
Good morning, Angela and Angelo, and good morning to all of the viewers of your program.
Well, Attorney, let's talk about the legalities of this situation. Since former Undersecretary Cabral has passed away, what legal avenues remain, especially for the family and, of course, DPWH and for the investigation of the flood control projects?
I'm not sure what you mean by legal remedies. No, kumbaga, the investigation by the ombudsman will be the primary should be the primary custodian of the documents now. Kasi there is already an ongoing investigation regarding the flood control scandals, infrastructure related corruption scandals.
Yeah.
No? So all documents pertaining to that or relevant to that, dapat ang meron ng tanga nito ay yung ombudsman. No? So anyone who has custody of those kinds of documents
Should surrender. Should surrender
surrender
their
it. No?
documents.
So,
Oo.
kumbaga, kung hawak mo yon at ayaw mong ibigay sa ombudsman, then you could be liable for obstruction.
Well, I'd like also to ask yung relative impact nitong untimely demise ni Yusek Cabral, because we all know dead men tell no tales. Although meron siyang preponderance of evidence, but the question is, usually evidence, you need a backup with it. Sino ba may-ari nito? How did you obtain this evidence? Did you act? And these are things that you cannot ask anymore dahil wala na yung tao. So, ano yung magiging impact nito sa overall case? Because si Yusek Cabral can point to several of the key players in this issue.
Yes, you're exactly right, Diego. No? Kumbaga, any information that she has or that she had that pertains to her involvement and her liability, wala na yun. That's extinguished. No? So, yung mga information na, kumbaga, still relevant to other personalities, that has to be evaluated by the ombudsman and the DOJ to a certain extent. No? Baka it can still be useful in the sense na it can corroborate other evidence pertaining to those personalities. So, yung situation ngayon, kung titignan natin in the context of a corruption litigation, yung mga information na tangan niya dati, whether be documents or notes or whatever, obviously, as far as she is concerned, wala na. No? It doesn't have any value with her or in relation to her. Pero dun sa ibang personalities pa, dun sa ibang conspirators pa, I mean, as a rule of thumb, that can still be helpful to the investigators and to the prosecutors, maybe as just a lead, a lead to further investigate other people, and also to possibly corroborate, strengthen evidence, pieces of evidence that relate specifically to those conspirators.
Pero attorney, what happens now to the cases that were already filed that have the late Yusek Cabral as one of the possible key witnesses to to strengthen the case against yung mga already yung supposedly detained already, no? How will the judge appreciate this written testimony that kailangan pa sana mag-testify sa stand? Ano mangyayari ngayon?
That will depend dun sa kung ano yung document na na-execute niya in relation to the case. No? So meron tayong procedures for perpetuation of evidence or perpetuation of testimony. So the ombudsman and the prosecutor should be asked that question. No? Sila makakasagot nun. But certainly, the cases should proceed. No? I'd like to think na yung case build-up o yung prosecution case did not rely on her testimony alone. No? So, the cases will still continue. I hope, no? I hope it still continues kasi dapat ang merong pang ibang ebidensya that can prove guilt beyond reasonable doubt, not just the late Yusek's testimony.
Well, I read somewhere, no, in some articles that the children of former Yusek Cabral could inherit substantial assets, no, including yung mga billions in real estates, millions in bank deposits, and these are complicated by the ongoing investigations, no. And ano yung mga legal means na po pwedeng gawin ng DOJ, ng Ombudsman to pursue civil forfeiture claims because of course we are looking at the angle na maaring itong mga pera na ito, itong ari-arian na ito ay nakuha mula doon sa mga flood control projects.
Yeah, so meron tayong tinatawag na mga provisional remedies. I'm sure the prosecutors are preparing for this now na they will ask the court to sort of attach a lien or a notice doon sa mga properties in question na hindi pwede itong i-dispose. Kumbaga, they will, parang naka-ano sila, in a way, parang naka-escrow, something like that in principle na hindi siya pwedeng galawin ng mga heirs ni Yusek, no?
So,
But that has to go through
yeah,
that has to go through the process in the court itself, yung case itself.
Okay, pero yung AMLAC, when can they go into the case?
They're already part of the overall case, 'di ba? Meron ng mga na-freeze na assets.
Yeah.
Meron ng so ganun din, same principle, no? So the prosecutors will have to apply for the freezing of those assets and also the same process sa court na they will have an attachment to that para kahit na halimbawa for example ma-transfer siya meron pa ring lien na naka-attach na in case na malaman nga na ill-gotten wealth yon, pwede pa rin mabawi ng gobyerno yon. So there are remedies available, kumbaga judicial remedies and also administrative remedies like the AMLA.
Pero, well, obviously, no, I have to ask you this for the benefit of our viewers, no, attorney. So, yung criminal aspect or liability ni the late Yusek Cabral is, in essence, extinguished due to her untimely passing. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate, no. So, wala na. Hindi na siya pwedeng makasuhan ng criminal liability.
So,
wala na eh.
Wala na eh. Pero yung debt, if she has debt or any other restitution, are her family liable to pay that restitution also?
No, it's her estate.
It's her estate.
Which will be liable, no?
Okay.
So, in a way, indirectly, mababawasan yung inheritance ng mga heirs, no? Kasi before they get their share, pag nisisettle na yung estate ni Yusek, magkakaroon muna, babayaran muna yung mga utang niya, tatanggalin muna yung mga properties na questionable. So, it's not directly the heirs who will pay the debts, but her estate will be liable for the debts. So, yung kung ano man ang mamanahin ng mga anak niya, mababawasan na.
Unless pinangalan na sa bank account ng anak niya, wala ka na magagawa yan.
May remedies pa rin if that was done in subterfuge, no, na
Transfers,
merong
you trace it.
intent with the intent to hide or to evade, rather evade liability. Meron pa ring remedy to recover that.
Yun nga yung tatanungin ko no, kasi parang ang crucial dito is how fast DOJ, Ombudsman, and of course AMLAC will take action in pursuing nga itong civil forfeiture claims. Dahil as we speak, wala pa naman talagang kaso. Tapos namatay pa si Yusek Cabral. So parang iniisip ko rin, naalala mo yung kay former Congressman Zaldico, 'di ba? He was able to move yung kanya mga air assets because wala pa naman siyang at that time kaso, walang nag-freeze at that time nung kanyang mga ari-arian, kaya he was able to move things freely. So, yun yung parang iniisip ko din dito. Although, at this point, ang pagkakaiba, Cabral has already passed.
Right now, meron ng mga cases, no? Meron na sa Ombudsman as sa Sandigan Bayan, kaya nga nakapag-issue na ng arrest warrant kila Zaldico.
Yeah, but
And
I'm
also,
talking
meron na
about
rin mga
Yusek.
pending
Oo.
cases sa Cebu, sa Lapu-Lapu, di ba? That's why nakadetain na sila Diskaya. So,
Yeah.
it's really now up to the prosecutors how they will achieve yung gusto natin mangyari na ma-prevent yung mga assets
Yeah.
ni
Yeah,
Yusek
but this
Cabral
one I'm
na
talking about
mapunta sa
Yusek Cabral.
mawala
oo.
bigla, di ba?
Oo.
Kasi attorney, for sure, wala pa naman na finding as to what was the cause of death, no? Pero based sa mga pronouncements ng DILG and the way they're talking, they're not ruling out also suicide. And if that was what happened, and for sure she had her affairs in order already and transfers, no? So you said pwede pa naman habulin yan. All they have to do is trace how much was transferred and to who was transferred. Is that correct?
Yes, no? Kasi meron din if just to add to the conversation, meron din naman tayo kasi yung civil procedure to recover ill-gotten wealth, no? So hindi naman ito kumbaga hindi limited to a criminal case, no? So merong mga options pa rin ang prosecutors natin to pursue this matter separately, no, from the criminal case. They will need to file a civil action of recovery of ill-gotten wealth. Meron tayong rules for that, may law tayo for that. So tama si Angela, it's a matter of the timing of it. Mas may urgency, I would say. They should recognize the urgency given alam naman natin yung kapasidad ng mga public officials natin who are involved in corruption na marami silang alam para makalusot.
What about yung nangyari after nga makita no yung body ni Yusek Cabral sa cliff sa Benguet ay parang binigay kaagad ng mga pulis no yung kanyang cellphone doon sa family, although the police head has na-relieve na sa niya no sa kanyang posisyon, pero in that case hingi na lang ng arrest warrant yung police. Arrest warrant ba tawag doon? Para makuha nila ulit search warrant, no? Para makuha nila ulit yung cellphone, ma-retrieve nila, gano'n na lang.
So yun yung breakdown of of the investigation process kasi kilala naman nila kung sino si Yusek Cabral, 'di ba? So at the very least, she is a person of interest in a corruption investigation. No? So, the police should have recognized that. Hindi dapat nila kaagad-agad na sinorender yung personal effects. No? Precisely because of that, no? That it can still be part of a criminal corruption investigation. So yun yung breakdown. So kailangan managot talaga yung mga police doon. Why did they do that? No? But is it intentional or talagang they're just ignorant of kung ano dapat yung gawin? No? So that has to be reckoned with at their level, no? Yung PNP. Pero kasi ang dapat noon, they should have held on to it. Coordinated with the ombudsman or the DOJ.
SOP yun dito? Attorney, di ba? Hindi ko alam, baka kulang sa training itong mga pulis na ito. SOP yun
That is a possibility, no? At least, they should have called kahit tawag lang or kahit text lang no, sa DOJ o sa ombudsman na meron kaming personal effects dito ni Yusek Cabral. What are we going to do about it? Should we transfer it to you? Ano kailangan? Etc. etc.
I'd like to ask you, Attorney, about yung overall yung tinatahak ng investigation itong pagkamatay ni Yusek Cabral, no? The late Yusek Cabral. In any other circumstance, sinasabi nila if the same way na that she died happened and then and she's not part of any big scandal ongoing, the investigation would have wrapped up though immediately given na walang special evidence that will point to foul play. But since she is, we mentioned, embroiled in this big scandal with big names, is it then premature at this point, based on what you've seen, to rule out actual foul play?
Yes, actually. Kaya nga pag nung napanood ko na si Secretary Remulla parang giving his preliminary quote-unquote view of the matter.
I wanna
parang
ask you about
medyo
that.
it's,
He used the word
a cringe moment for me.
I think.
Kasi parang, kaya muna, hinay-hinay muna tayo, di ba? Parang,
Yes, oo.
let's get to the bottom of it muna, no? Bago tayo magsabi ng mga preliminary views
Tama.
natin.
Oo.
Coming from a public official like him, because people might think that's the official finding, no?
Yeah.
Magkakaroon ng, parang space for misinformation, miscommunication. So, mas maganda sana, no, if we had responsible and kumbaga prudent public officials, they would have waited to really to have a final official finding of what happened before they made their own views known.
Kasi standardly, attorney, di ba, you don't pag wala pang findings, you don't say what you think. You just wait for the actual evidence to point out.
I mean, that's all actually common sense, right?
I'm sure you watched it, di ba? Paulit-ulit, I think, and I think. Di ba?
Yeah.
Parang, what ganon?
Parang speculation kasi, di
Yes,
ba?
oo.
But coming from an official like him, people might think that's not speculation, and that's the problem. No?
Alright.
So, hindi sana ganun.
Oo. Attorney, last na lang po kasi naalala ko, since yesterday merong bagong nagsoli ng pera, mga about 15 million, no? Isa sa mga contractors na nasasangkot nga dito sa anomalous flood control projects. At hindi lang yon, over the past couple of weeks or months, sila Bryce Hernandez and others were able to return some of the what's left or whatever doon sa kanilang mga allegedly nakuha from these projects. So, what happened then to these, what will happen to these returned money, returned assets, and what will happen to these supposedly mga contractors, di ba, na nagsoli ng kanilang mga allegedly nanakaw?
So first, they will still be criminally liable, no? Kasi kaya nga sila nagsoli because they did something wrong, no? They committed an offense. But as to the degree of liability, that will still be determined by, first, yung prosecutors, kung kakasuhan pa ba sila, sasama pa ba sila sa indictment, or they will be witnesses, etc., etc. Or, kung nasama na sila sa indictment, the court will now determine kung anong gagawin sa kanila. Now, as to the money, it also depends, no? Kung it will be used for evidence, then ang magkakaroon ng custody dyan would be the court. I-deposito yan, and the court will be responsible for that. Meron namang may paraan for the courts to keep that amount of money. No? So, ganun yung mangyayari. Definitely, the fact na nagsoli ng pera, ibig sabihin, an offense was committed.
There's an admission,
right?
no?
It's an admission of participation in that offense, in that crime. Ang aalamin na lang natin kung
Gaano kalalim?
anong liability at kung anong mangyayari doon sa taong yon if indicted na.
Kung gaano kalalim yung participation nila. Well, with that, I think mahaba-habang usapan pa to. But for the meantime, maraming salamat po muli. As always, sa inyong oras, sa inyong insights, Attorney Michael Yusingo, Senior Research Fellow at the Ateneo Policy Center. Magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Maraming salamat din.